What's going on, everyone? It has been a long time since we've dove into some Mandalorians, but well, we've got Mandalorians today with Bo-Katan Blue. It is honestly one of my favorite lists to play in terms of casual lists, just because you get to play a bunch of these strange cards, and they actually do have some really nice synergy built into a lot of the cards, which I'll talk a little bit about here. For those of you that haven't stuck around since set 2, I think this is the last time I made a video on this list, so I cannot wait to go ahead and play some games today. A big thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. I know you all love watching all these random silly ones from me, so thank you for supporting the channel. But what do we got with Bo-Katan? Well, like I said, set 2 leader that I'm sure a lot of you don't even know what does at this point. She's got this action: if we've attacked with a Mandalorian unit, we could deal 1 damage to a unit. And on her flip side, she could deal essentially 2 damage spread as she chooses across units, as long as you've attacked with a Mandalorian unit. So the idea here is that we want Mandalorian units on the curve. Now, fortunately, from, well, the first 2 sets of the game, we have actually a lot of Mandalorian units to play on turn 1, and they're all reasonable. Not crazy good in some cases, but not terrible. We've got Sabine, Ketsu, both are pretty solid at least. Ketsu with defeating, 2 or less cost upgrades actually comes into play. A lot of the time, Savitor is also relevant. Sabine's, of course, which is one of the best turn 1 plays in the game. Housecast Soldier and a Clan Ren Rescuer are kind of, well, less than ideal. 2-3 Saboteurs, okay, at least it kills Secretive Sage, which is actually pretty relevant. So that's not bad at all. The Clan Ren Rescuer is a 1-2 that gets an experience token to a unit, so it's just a 2-3 base. The nice thing is that experience tokens being passed to other units is pretty good. Follower of the Way is one such unit, just a 2-cost 1-3 that gets +1/+1 for upgrades. The only new card, though, starts to come into play on the 3 resource turn. It's the only new card we're playing from set 5, and that is Axe Woves, which is honestly a really good one in this deck, because of things like Clan Ren Rescuer or things like Mandalorian Warrior, which come down and give experience tokens. These experience tokens suddenly become +2/+2 on Axe Woves, which is really incredible. Of course, Mandalorian Armor is also incredible because it comes down with 2 upgrades. So it suddenly becomes +3/+5 for Axe Woves and a shield. So now you're double shielded, +3/+5. It becomes a 5/7 double shielded, which is crazy to think about. You also have the Darksaber, which is a nice off aspect upgrade that passes experience tokens around. A little bit of removal like Open Fire, Fell the Dragon takedowns. Some of the later curve, we got Fen Rao Armor to put some shield tokens on. Fen Rao's nice with things like Mandalorian Armor or even Darksaber to come down and play on the Fen Rao to give -2/-2 to things. But overall, we are just playing a bunch of Mandalorians in the early game and then hoping that those Mandalorians plus the attacks can kind of clear out the board, and then we drop a Darksaber on our Bo-Katan or something else and we start scaling out of control. That's kind of the name of the game for us. We're gonna see if we can take down some games here with Bo-Katan. I'm excited. Like I said, I haven't played this in a while, but it's always nice to return some old classics before they rotate out, right? Maybe in set 6 we'll see a bunch new Mandalorians. Honestly, I think if we get more cards like Mandalorian Warrior, this 3-drop that gives an experience token and is also a 3/3, or things like Fleet Lieutenant, I think we could actually have a very solid overall Mandalorian deck on our list here. But I don't know, we will find out. Let's dive into some games here. All right, into game number 1 here, up against Talzin Red. I'm gonna keep this. What do I want to resource here? I think I'll want to resource the Cassian and potentially the Daring Raid. So I'm thinking I go like Ketsu Open Fire. Ketsu's nice because I can defeat the shield token off of a Secretive Sage if that comes down. They've got a Karis here. All right, let's go ahead and claim initiative, and I think we'll just immediately. Ooh, yeah, we'll immediately just open fire the Karis here. Just get rid of it. Don't want them to be generating the force. It can deal with our Ketsu, which is kind of unfortunate. So we're just going to open fire the Karis, deal with that unit, make sure they don't have the force for their plays here, and we'll see what they decide to do as a follow-up. Axe and Assailing Fangfighter both look pretty good. Hopefully we get them in a spot where they only have a bunch of events to play, and now they don't have a great play. Of course, that looks like it's not going to be the case. They got a Jedi in hiding. We'll deal 1 to the Jedi in hiding. We'll pass. Koska Reeves is okay. Don't mind that one. My opponent's probably going to have a lot of, things to mess with our board here. That's what I guess, but we'll see. All right, Dark Tyrannus. Oh, wow, they were trying to knock out Ketsu. All right, I mean, that's pretty good for us here. We will defeat the shield token off of the Dark Tyrannus here. I don't think my opponent realized they did not have the force with the Dark Tyrannus, to be honest. I think they kind of totally forgot that they did not have the force. I would have just killed the Jedi in hiding in this turn, most likely, but we'll go ahead and play out the Koska Reeves. And then I think what I'll do is I'll hit the Jedi in hiding so that we at least have an option to, you know, ping off one of the units here. We got another Darksaber here. I'll resource that one and we'll see what my opponent wants to do. This is kind of the dangerous turn for us because my opponent could have a bunch of different things going on here, especially with the Talzin deploy. So I'm a little bit worried about what could transpire here. Open fire is a good draw just because it gives us immediate, you know, ability to deal with some of the things on the board, but they could have force throws and, you know, a million other different things here in this game. We'll get our Axe Woes killed off here. I mean, they could have another force throw. Force lightning wouldn't kill off this Darksabered up Koska Reeves. I think I'll just go for it. I mean, they could have power of the dark side. If they do, it's really bad for us, to be honest. But if they don't, at least that's something that we have. Let's just go ahead and attack. We'll deal 2 damage to the Jedi in hiding. Just get rid of it. They can attack it with Dark Tyrannus, which is fine. I just want to be able to have kind of enough ability to, you know, deal with a couple of units, right? So we basically dealt with 2 different units here. They can use the Talzin action and then they can deploy their Talzin. I mean, we're not in a good spot by any means. Force Throw is just a good card, right? I mean, doesn't matter what happens. Force Throw is a 1-cost way to deal with my 2-drop. Like, it's just, it is what it is, right? No Mandalorian here. All right, we'll resource this. We'll get rid of the Talzin's Assassin here. Just get rid of that unit. And then we will be able to deploy Bo-Katan, put Mandalorian Warrior on it, and we'll see what we'll be able to do. Oh boy, that is really bad for us. Upgrade for Talzin is obviously horrible for our situation. We're going to play out a Mandalorian Warrior. Rival's Fall would be excellent here, but yeah, they are kind of taking control of the board. We did resource our Disabling Fang Fighter. I would have thought that they would have resourced the upgrades, which is why I kind of got rid of the Disabling Fang Fighter, but of course, here in this spot would have been way better to keep it. I would have just I don't know, I was thinking like 3, you know, steps ahead where I was like, oh, I'll resource Disabling Fang Fighter because they probably think I have it so that they won't deploy their upgrades. But of course, I get punished for that immediately. Waiting for my opponent to take some sort of action. We'll go Power of the Dark Side. We'll pass if they just want to attack. That's fine. Do I want to deploy Bo-Katan? Probably not. I don't even think we want to deploy into that. I don't really know what we could do here, to be honest. I think we're in really, really big trouble. All right, Fen Rao is actually a really nice play. So I get to go Fen Rao, Mandalorian armor on Fen Rao, and then shrink down the Talzin. I mean, that's about as good as it gets. That was about as good as a card I could pick up here. Of course, they could have another Power of the Dark Side. Talzin just, wow, they have so many upgrades. I will action because it will stall out so I can pass essentially for free here. They're going to attack base, which is obviously not great. They're going to deal 1. Wow. Yeah, this is obviously pretty bad for us, but we have to deploy because we need to start dealing with this Talzin. Deal 1 damage. We'll pass. Armor, Koska. Oh, boy. Yeah, I mean, they're just going to probably just kill us, right? Hit the base. Okay. We'll go armor and we'll go shield, 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 and hopefully that will, you know, kind of help us in this match. But I mean, they're just going to kind of run this Talzin. Oh, they had Devastator. All right, yeah. Devastator, I wasn't sure if they had it. Some Talzins have it main deck. Some people only have it sideboard. So, you know, it is what it is. But that force throw is really what disrupted the whole game plan. Of course, they had the Tyrannus and Talzin Assassin, which is a really, really solid play. And we just never able to really get there. With some of the answers here that we had. They went and double upgrade on the Talzin, which was really good, but if we had kept Disabling Fang Fighter, the game probably would have ended. So I guess, you know, that's a consideration, but GG. All right, into the next matchup. We're hitting a lot of the top meta these days here. Do I want to keep this? Mandalorian's okay. Our Mandalorian armor's okay, but not necessarily against Boba Fett. We're not gonna have ground units, and I don't think I care about this. I think I'm gonna mulligan this one. Okay. I like this hand a little bit more here. I'll resource both of the house cast soldiers. And I think I mean, the question is, do I want to go with Ketsuonyo or Sabine Wren on turn 1? I'm not sure. All right, in this case, I'll definitely go Sabine, just because I'll be able to knock out the first order stormtrooper without taking damage. Axe is another option that we have, and we got. Oh, they're gonna go with Daring Raid, huh? On the Sabine, huh? That seems a little bit interesting. All right, we're gonna claim initiative, and then I mean, I'll keep the disabling Fang Fighter. And we'll just knock out their first order stormtrooper. Yeah, I'll take a little bit of damage here. That's totally fine. Take 2 to the base. Obviously, keep around our Sabine Wren around. We'll have the Bo-Katan action to see what we can do as well. TIE Dagger Vanguard. All right. I mean, that's okay. We'll use the Bo-Katan action to hit this TIE Dagger Vanguard. And we will pass. DARKSABER, double 2-drop, Daring Raid. I mean, Daring Raid looks okay in most situations, but I think here I'll just play out the 2 drops and then go DARKSABER next turn, and hopefully that's going to be good enough. I mean, my opponent's not going to have a ton of ways to kill off this axe because of the shield token. If it didn't have a shield token, then I'd be a little bit more worried to where we couldn't deal with the TIE Dagger Vanguard, but I'm liking our position here. Okay, Fett's Fire and Spray. I mean, I'll take 2 onto the axe. I think it's totally fine to go ahead and just take a little bit of damage here. We will attack in for 3, and then I will go ahead and deal 1. Oh, I should have played Clan Run Rescuer to get +2, but that's okay. We're gonna... Yeah, I missed out on 2 points of damage there. A little bit unfortunate there for sure. Definite mistake from me. Clan Run Rescuer, Sabine Wren. This is a great Darksaber turn. It's going to really pump up all of my units. IG-2000 is going to get rid of that shield token, and they're going to be able to deal a little bit of damage here. I could go Takedown instead. Question is, do I want to go Takedown, or do I just want to go Darksaber? I feel like I just want to go Darksaber, and then just go absolutely crazy here. They can deploy Boba Fett onto their Fett's Fire Spray, and then we can disabling Fang Fighter it. See, Darksaber. No, I think we're going to put Darksaber on the axe just to pump it up an incredible amount. I know that means that we won't be able to get the experience tokens on axe, but if I put it on, let's say, Sabine, then they can finish it off with the Boba Fett here. Let's attack in with axe. We'll get in some damage here. They play that, but that's fine. We can just knock it out with the Bo-Katan action. They could deal another one to our base. That's fine. And then we'll pass. Another axe. Probably going to be the resource here. I mean, Darksaber looks pretty good here. They could play out their Boba Fett. We could disabling Fang Fighter it. We'll see what they have as a response afterwards. I mean, I'm a little bit worried because they could have like Ruthless Raider here. Overruling Barrage. I mean, Ruthless Raider is great, right? Let's see what they decide to hit here. Okay. They knocked out our Sabine. I think what we'll do here is we'll just go full on damage. We're going to deploy Bo-Katan, and then we'll attack with Axe, and then we'll see what they decide to do with their Boba Fett here. They're going to attack straight up. Wow, I'm a little bit surprised on that one. We'll take 2 damage here. Let's see, how much damage do we have? 9. 9 damage. We're a little bit short, huh? No, because we could go armor on shield token on everyone. Yeah, armor. Let's see, this is +4. Yeah, armor or shield token on these 3 means that we will get enough damage to win the game unless they deal a little bit of damage to the axe. And if they do, then we attack with axe here. Let's see how they divvy up the damage, because we have technically lethal on board right now. And I mean, I guess I could have attacked with the armorer or the axe, and then they could have just had to take initiative, but I'm trying to go for lethal here. I don't think there's many ways that this loses for us. My opponent's really thinking about where they have to divide this damage up. They have to hit Axe. If they don't hit Axe, the game is over. Man, Armorer is sweet. Axe is sweet. Darksaber is so cool. I'm loving this deck already. Oh, man, I'm loving this deck. I'm surprised they didn't just immediately deploy to try and knock out the Clanran Rescuer. All right, they're conceding. All right, well, I don't think they had much to deal with us. I think if what they did is they get rid of the shield token on all three of my, I don't know what they could have done. They had to have like getting rid of the shield token. I don't think there's anything because they get rid of the shield token and they click claim initiative and then overwhelming barrage for 9 from IG 2000 because they can't obviously make an attack with IG 2000, and then they kill off Axe Wolves. But then again, if we attack for 9 here, like they would claim initiative, so we would attack with everything. 9, that puts them at 27. No, we had lethal. Yeah, we had lethal because we protected the Clanran Rescuer. I was subtracting the Clanran Rescuer's damage, but then the Armorer sealed the deal. Yep, so we had lethal. There was nothing that our opponent could really do here. They had to have deployed Boba. I was thinking that they were going to deploy Boba to knock out our Rescuer, but that's not what they did, and we won. Not bad. Moving on to game number 3 here. Probably not the hand I want to keep. Let's mulligan this one. This is much better. This is much better. Double Mandalorian armor, probably not where I want to be. Or double Sabine and double Mandalorian armor is not where I want to be. So I think I'll just resource one of each, and we'll kind of see how the game progresses. Sabine Wren actually looks great because we can knock out that Secretive Sage, so I'm happy with that. Ketsu versus Follower. I think I'm going to resource the Ketsu since Follower just, kind of gets a little wrecked here. Yeah, let's go ahead and attack the Secretive Sage. Man, if we had initiative in this game, it would be like so over. Let's go ahead and deal 1 here to the Grand Inquisitor. It's kind of unfortunate because we're going to play Follower of the Way, but my opponent's just going to kill it. So it's like, whatever. We're kind of screwed here, to be honest. Them having a Secretive Sage turn 1 really messes up, because if we don't kill Secretive Sage there, they just use the... All right, that's even worse. We'll use the action here. I mean, the game is basically over at this point. That's what happens. Didn't draw, kind of a great curve here. And then up against, a deck that's really all about kind of removing a lot of your units, playing a little bit more controlling. It just makes the whole game completely miserable. But as I was saying, they have so many different options with kind of going through and killing off my units that it didn't really matter what I did here. I could play Clan Challengers. It doesn't even kill off Tal's Assassin if they were to attack it. So it's like, I mean, what even is this? But yeah, not a great... They got Power of the Dark Side, sure. We'll claim initiative. We got nothing else. I mean, we'll play Bo-Katan, and then we're going to hope that my opponent does not have the nastiness that is Power of the Dark Side or Rivals Fall, because we're just going to have to go all in on Bo-Katan. That is like our only option at this point. So we will see what we can do here. Yeah. 4-7. Let's just go with Mandalorian armor. Well, actually, let's go with Mandalorian armor here. And then we might play like Axe Wolves. Do they have a Power of the Dark? If they do, we just concede. There's nothing we can do to come back in this game. We'll see what they've got here as a follow-up. Okay, they're going to get rid of the shield token. That makes a reasonable amount of sense here. Let's go attack, and then we'll deal 1 to the Grand Inquisitor, and then we'll see what my opponent decides to do here. Okay, they went ahead and played their unit. I think I'm going to go Darksaber on Bo-Katan. We just need a way to kind of keep her alive, really. We're going to go and claim initiative. They're going to use the trigger from Darth Maul after he flips to go ahead and knock out probably wow, Darth Revan's lightsabers and Force Throw, huh? Kind of an obnoxious, crazy flip turn for Maul. They're definitely... Oh, they're just going to trade, I guess. I'm surprised they didn't damage their own Darth Maul to get in for more damage there. You know, just getting in for 10 seems like it's really good because now Ogdobogdo's lethal. I mean, this like also wins, but like, I mean, they didn't really need to do all that to win. I think they just, you know, hit themselves and then kill us. But yeah, controlling decks didn't get, you know, a great start on that one. A little bit too brutal. Into the next one, we've got ourselves some Cad Bane Tarkin Town. Now that's gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be a tough one, no doubt. No doubt. Let's go ahead and I think we'll mulligan here because I'm expecting my opponent, if I pass here, just to claim initiative and keep the game scaling, which I think I'm okay with versus actually playing units into this. And if we were to play units into this, they deal one of the follower of the way, they target town it, or house castles, they target town it, and then our Mandalorian warriors are just 3/3s that do nothing. So yeah, I don't think that's really what I want to be going with here on turn number 1/2. And this isn't much better. This is not much better here. Resource the house cast soldier and the Cassian. I will pass. And we'll see. They're going to claim initiative. Wow. Who would have expected that? House cast soldier going to go into the resource pile. We will pass yet again if they pass. Or we'll claim initiative, I suppose. It's just not a good spot for us to be in here. I could fell a dragon on the next turn, which would be nice. But I think getting to the Bo-Katan is actually going to be pretty nice for us, assuming we can get a Darksaber rolling. Like, that can scale out of control very, very quickly. So we will see what my opponent's got. They're taking a little while to resource here. Let's see what they've got. I probably could have kept... Nah. Pass. Let's claim initiative. I'm okay with sitting around kind of doing nothing for a little bit here. Daring Raid, probably not going to be all that useful. But... you know, just kind of passing back and forth is totally fine with me. We're at the turn now where now my opponent has to have a unit, Tarkin Town, plus something else going on. So I think I'm okay with just deploying Koska in my opponent's face. I mean, there's a lot of different things they could have, but at least at this stage, we're finally getting past the point where, you know, they're kind of forced to do something this turn because they just kind of claim initiative. Well, then they're not using the resources. But they're going to have something else in addition to Tarkin Town. I mean, they could have all sorts of things. Like I said, Daring Raid's pretty common. Open Fire plus Koska. But if they do that, that's fine. IG-2000 is another one where they can double trigger and then use Tarkin Town to finish it off, right? I mean, this is fine, though, because now we are going to be able to kind of deploy things and not worry about Tarkin Town, which is kind of the goal here. And Armorer was actually a fantastic draw because now I can go Sabine plus Mandalorian Warrior and then pub up Sabine, and then go armor a shield token on everything, and that will cause some trouble for my opponent. So I do like keeping the Mandalorian or the Sabine here. It is going to be quite nice. So Sabine, Ren going down. I technically could have used the Bo-Katan action just to, you know, pass, I suppose, on the previous turn, but they're probably just passing back with Cad Bane, and then I'm playing Koska anyway, so I kind of just shortcut it because, you know, I figured my opponent's just going to keep passing. If they're passing the first couple of turns, they're just going to keep doing it. But hey, we got the Target Town out. They're left with an IG-2000. I think we're actually in a reasonable spot here. I'm going to go with an experience token. I mean, playing two things with an armorer in hand, I'm pretty happy about it. Forlom is obviously great. They will deal some damage. We're going to go ahead and claim initiative here. And then I will just go ahead and attack into their Tarkin Town. But yeah, I mean... maybe they McClunky here. Very possible. They do McClunky. Yep. Kind of what Cad Bane's famous for, right? They ended up kind of removing our entire board here, which ended up being pretty good for them. I mean, fell the dragon, then they could have Zuckuss here. Zuckuss would be horrible for us. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to have too many upgrades, so... what do I want to do here? I mean, I think just playing these two kind of stinks as a play. So I think I'll just go with Mandalorian and play as a 5/6 Sentinel. My problem here is that if they have Zuckuss, they just kill my Bo-Katan. But if they have Zuckuss, I mean, yeah, they have Zuckuss. I mean, there is not much that we can do here. It is what it is. My opponent just kind of got a great hand to deal with what's going on here for us. Let's go ahead and deploy Bo-Katan. And and we'll see what my opponent decides to do. This was a great combination of cards for them. They were able to kind of do everything that they wanted to. Lots of setup, but you know, a tough matchup for someone to try to play so much of Mandalorians up against the full-on, you know, kill your stuff deck. All right, I mean, we'll get remove Zuckuss off the board. They're going to be able to deploy Cad Bane and, you know, kill off my Bo-Katan, but honestly, this is not nearly as bad as it could have been. So I'm actually totally okay with this. I'm actually pretty happy with where we're at. Takedown is a great draw. That is fantastic, actually. We can even get rid of potentially Fell the Dragon, but I think I'm going to key... No. Yeah, we'll go to the follower of the way. We'll just go Takedown here, and we'll stall an action. I mean, that was a great draw. And now, I mean, my opponent could have, like, Cad Bane, but that's not really that big of a deal. They got Greedo here, huh? All right, let's go with the Bo-Katan action and see if they pass. I'm doing this because they do have 6 resources left, and if we deploy Axe, they just play something and get rid of the shield token, so I'm not super ecstatic about that. And I would like to get Axe down if possible. Okay, they're going to go Crafty Smuggler. All right, we're going to go Sabine Wren then. They're going to play a bunch of small units that they've kept in hand during this time. They may have another Maclunky, but if they do, you know, it is what it is. My opponent's got a million cards. They've got a lot of, you know, value in their deck. So they're going to reveal Maclunky. Sure. They're going to play Maclunky because they have the 0-1 resource discount with Jabba. Obviously fantastic. Fella Dragon not really doing anything. No action from Greedo. I mean, these Maclunkys are just so brutal. All right, we're going to go Clan Challengers, and then we're going to go Axe. A little bit thinking that this game's kind of over because they got Cad Bane options. We really just needed to dodge a couple of these turns where they had the ideal cards that we were kind of talking about, which is Maclunky, Zuckuss, the Forlom Zuckuss, and we couldn't quite do it. Couldn't quite dodge a couple of the cards. Like, if Jabba hadn't drawn that card, we would have been able to go Hotshot Blaster, huh? Interesting. Are they going to hit the Clan Challengers? Nope. All right, we're going to go with Axe. As I was saying, if they hadn't hit exactly those types of cards, then we could have gotten rid of the Crafty Smuggler, which would have lined up the Bo-Katan action, which would have let us kill the Greedo too. So, like, a lot more things could have gone our way. But they happened to pick up some nasty beaters here. See, they've got 5 resources left in the pocket. They do have Cad Bane in their list, almost certainly. And so, you know, seeing that could be a little bit dangerous. We knew they had the IG-2000. Not a whole lot that we could do about it. We'll take another one to Axe. We'll claim initiative, and then they can, you know, hopefully they don't have another Maclunky or whatever. All right, they're going to knock out Axe. I figured that they would, and so that's totally fine. I suppose we won't resource anything. There's not really a big reason to. We can knock out the Jabba here, which is not bad. They can kill our Clan Challengers, which they may decide to do. Okay, they don't decide to do so. That's okay. They're going to get in some damage. I mean, I'm not liking our spot at all, by the way, but we will find out here what is to be the plan. Bosk, huh? Ugh. Yeah, that's going to be pretty bad for us. Bosk. Yep. And now they're going to be able to do the whole, you know, play an event like a surprise strike and then kill off our Clan Challengers, what they were probably thinking. Too many things to deal with. I don't think we can win, but I will not concede just yet. Mist Hunter will knock out the Greedo. What do they hit? Did they hit a non-unit? Okay, they discard Greedo. We'll see what they're going to do here. Double space units at this point is a little bit scary, but we'll claim initiative. We'll see what we can do. Disabling Fang Fighter, not really what I'm looking for, but you know what? That's okay. Knockout Boss, can't really do a whole lot with Boss on the battlefield. Ruthless Raider. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to finish it. We don't have enough space units to deal with what they got going on. GG. GG, Cad Bane. You got us. Into the next one, we got our opponent on Obi-Wan. Red. Force throws coming in. Coming in with the force throws. Let's see what we can do here. Waiting for our opponent. This hand would be so fine if we were on the initiative because we have the follow away. There's so many ways to get an experience token going. This one is better. I really like the Clan Ren Rescuer. I like it because it gives us, you know, ability to go a little bit wider while putting some relevant power on things that need it. I'm going to resource the Casca in this matchup. They got Jedi Consular, which is very obnoxious. And we'll pass. Another Casca. Cassian as the resource. I mean, I'd love to just go attack, you know, hit the Jedi Consular. They're kind of forced to use an experience. Oh, well, we're just going to get that Jedi Consular out of here then. A little bit surprised that that's what they decided to go with. We're going to go Axe now. And then we have Razor Crest. I mean, honestly, DARKSABER on Axe kind of goes hard right now. Kind of goes hard, guys. Kind of goes hard. That's +5, +4, plus an experience token on Sabine. Honestly, DARKSABER on Sabine's good too, but I'd be a little bit worried about Force Throw kind of just knocking her out, whereas at least Axe has the shield token. My opponent with what they've got in Obi-Wan Red doesn't usually have ways to deal with a big powered up shielded Axe Wove. So I think I'm going to lean in that direction. And I think I'm just going to drop DARKSABER down. I think we're going DARKSABER, baby. Let's go. What do they got? What do they have? They've got an Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay. What do I want to do here? So I can go this, which make a 5 powered unit. Yeah, let's just go DARKSABER on Sabine. So now we can knock out Obi-Wan, and then we can get the experience token on Axe, which would make it a 5 powered unit. Then we can use that plus Bo-Katan to finish off Obi-Wan. The only way this goes poorly is if my opponent does indeed have like Force Throw or something like that. But they're not even... Oh. Our deck's broken. It's broken, guys. It's broken. DARKSABER right there. We would have had a sick turn, too, because we would have gone Clan Ren Rescuer, double experience on Axe, which would have made it 9 power. And then that would have been another to 11 power because of the Sabine. Then we would have made a bunch of experiences on Clan Ren Rescuer. We could have gone Armor and Shield, which is probably what I would have done because it's safer. But that was victory right there. That was good. That was good. Alrighty, into the next game. And honestly, I'm kind of liking this hand. I'm going to go and resource the removal. I'm not super confident that that's the right decision, but I'm kind of hoping. And okay, they've got Sabine. They might hit the DARKSABER. No, they're going to go Mandalorian Warrior. Okay. Let's... Ooh, Fenrau looks pretty good here. Ooh, what I want to resource. Maybe it's the Mando armor. All right. Let's just hit the base for 2 and see what my opponent decides to do. Okay, they're going to hit our base for 1. We're going to go Follower of the Way. They have a million different ways to kill things with DARKSABERs on them, so I'm probably not going to go that direction. McClunky, deal a little bit of damage. Sure. We'll pass because they'll probably just, Bazine us. Pretty obnoxious couple of turns here. They're going to get rid of the DARKSABER now. Yep. Let's get rid of the Mando here. Let's go with an attack in for 2. Palp Yellow, a little bit of an obnoxious game player. Probably has another McClunky, to be honest. Just kind of doing his thing. We'll see. Gonna go with a couple 2-drops here. Another McClunky. Wow! What a crazy turn of events. Palp's just attacking our hand and McClunkying on repeat. Oh my gosh. Another Bazine. Wow, they've done the same play 3 turns in a row. Took the Casca. Sure. Let's go ahead and claim initiative. They're going to defeat to deal 1 to Sabine. Sure. Let's go ahead and attack into their base for 3. Not feeling confident about the game. Sneak attack legacy run. Okay. You know, I'm not too worried about that. I mean, that's just going to be 3 damage. And then they will maybe defeat it with Palp to kill these 2. But then I'm just going to go Clan Challengers and be probably okay with it. The reason I did it this way is because if I play Clan Challengers, then they're going to have more options. And they'll be able to deal more damage to the Clan Challengers itself. So I do like Legacy Run and Palpatine, though. That is a sweet one. I have been playing around with that. Not surprised at all that showed up. Fenrau is going to be their play here. Not that we have any upgrades to play on Fenrau. No Mandalorian armors or Darksabers have been drawn since the initial part of the game. Would love to have a Razor Crest show up. Okay. Odd contracted hunter showing up. I'm going to go Fenrau, and I'm also going to go Bo-Katan, and we're going to get in some damage. I mean, we've put pressure on our opponent pretty nicely here. Resupply would be a card that we'd be a little bit afraid of, but yeah. Contract Hunter's going to get killed here. Sure. Let's put Fenrau down. No upgrades to play, but that's okay. Do they have the Bazine Part 2? Or I guess Part 6. I meant like the second Bazine, but it's really like they Bazined us like 20 times at this point. No good to me dead to prevent Fenrau from attacking. All right. We're going to deploy Bo-Katan. Get in for some damage. Choose nothing. Wait, why did she take damage? I must have clicked Bo-Katan. Oh, well. Do we have a Cassian? We do not. I mean, honestly, I think we could just keep our cards. Darth Vader here, huh? Darth Vader's good. ISB agents also very good. Change of Heart's good. Let's see what they decide to hit here. Double ISB agent? Wow. That's crazy. It's a crazy hit. Do you see what's going on here? Wow, what a crazy circumstance for that. That's insane. Well, you know, sometimes, you know, your opponent gets the double ISB hit and you are sad. Razor Crest. Yeah, wow, what a crazy pickup for them. You know, it happens. Darth Vader, a double ISB agent. Oh my gosh. What a crazy one. Sure. Yep, they're going to go ahead and yoink my Fenrau for the change of heart nonsense. We'll see what they decide to do here. They're going to go Bazine. See what they decide to hit here. Very, very solid game plan here from them. Whatever we take, they're going to yoink. So it's kind of like, ugh. Razor Crest, sure. Let's go ahead and, I guess, deal 1 to one of the ISB agents since, you know, we're just chilling. They can't use the Fenrau sack unless they deploy Palp. So I think what I'll do is just daring raid their base. Maybe they're looking to steal it, so we're gonna pass. I don't. They're obviously, yeah. So now we'll play Koska because they can, you know, defeat Fenrau to kill the Koska. But at least this prevents them from stealing Koska, right? That's kind of the thought process there. Because they can always just defeat our Fenrau. It's not a big deal. Cassian into the resource pile. Let's go ahead and drop in the Clan Challengers. And then we'll drop in a Clan Ren Rescuer. I'm feeling pretty bad about this game at this point. The double ISB agent really put us in a bad spot. If we had, you know, something a little bit different, would have been a little bit better for us. All right, we're going to claim initiative, and we got nothing else, right? We deployed all of our resources. If we had something a little bit different, it would have been, or if they had something a little bit different, it would have been way better for us. Change of heart. Yeah, that's pretty good. Second change of heart coming in. Nothing much you can do about it. Opponent had double change of heart, double Moklunki. You know, it happens. It happens. Pretty sick. Palpatine Yellow does some cool stuff. Not gonna lie. Doesn't matter what we do now. It is going to be GG. My opponent can kind of knock us out. Can we see? There we go. GG. Well played. Alrighty, up against Kazuda, huh? We're gonna keep this hand for sure. This is actually a really, really nice hand. And I think I'm even gonna resource the Clan Ren Rescuer because I feel like I'm probably gonna want to go open fire on turn 2. And the Darksaber is one way that we can race the Kazuda. That is one way we can actually race. So, yeah, let's go with Sabine. Let's pass. Mando armor. Not really what I'm looking for, so we'll just resource that. Let's see what they've got. They have a pilot. They're just going to attack. Sure, we're going to attack for 3. We're going to be able to open fire plus use the Bo-Katan action. This is great, actually. Because we can now kill off the stolen AT Holo, and they have no way to use an ability here. Wow, that's crazy, by the way. That was an amazing play. Yeah. My opponent just played it without... I mean, honestly, that's crazy. If I was my opponent, I would not be immediately using my action on Fireball. I probably would have just attacked and then played the stolen AT Hauler for something like this to occur. It is pretty rough because now, I mean, they lost their play and we basically got a free 4-5 out of the deal, which is pretty excellent, to be honest. So let's see what my opponent wants to do here. I think we will attack in for 3. They can attack in for 6 if they would like to, or they can, okay, they're going to stolen AT Hauler back. We're going to go Follower of the Way. And then we'll just deal 1 to the Fireball. Ooh. Yeah, we're going to Daring Raid the Fireball. Change my mind. We're just going to get rid of it. They now have a loaded up stolen AT Hauler. Not something that I really want to... Ooh, Disabling Fangfighter. Well, say less. Fenrir going to be the resource. We're going to go to Darksaber here for sure. Punch it, huh? Darksaber coming in. We're going to rush some damage here. Get in for 6. Claim initiative. Let's attack. Let's deal 1 to the stolen AT Hauler. Let's pass. Ketsu Onyo. Okay, so we have Disabling Fangfighter plus Sabine. I guess I should have resourced Sabine, but I don't think that matters because we're going to go with Takedown most likely here. Get in some damage, sure. I mean, can we win? Let's see. Let's think about this for a second. So what's the best chance of victory? Let's assume they have no Millennium Falcon. We take down, which doesn't put them in lethal, even if Surprise Strike happens next turn, so we can get 1 extra attack in. Right now we have 6, 11. I mean, we technically are really close to lethal here. So I think what we do is just go Takedown on Red Leader. Deploy Bo-Katan, we get 5, 10. Stolen AT Hauler Part 2. Deploy Bo-Katan. Then we go Darksaber, attack in, get some experience. We attack in, and then we attack in, and we go 2 damage to Blue Leader, pass. Let's see if my opponent has a way to kill us right now. They need to kill us right now. Rebel Assault doesn't do it. Surprise Strike is 1 short. That was a battle. That was a battle. Not bad at all. We got ourselves a good final match with the Bo-Katan Blue. Not bad. All right. So, Bo and the Mandalorians. What happened? It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun, to be honest, as a lot of the decks here that we play on the channel are. There were certainly some matchups that were, let's just say, less than competitive. But I really wish that we just could get a couple more Mandalorians and we would really be pushing this into a pretty nice situation. I do think that, this strategy just doesn't really work all that well in Star Wars Unlimited. It's similar to the Rebels, early set one game plan where you had like General Dodonna and try to get a lot of Rebels on the board to be useful. But nowadays the way Rebels play is that you just get in early plays and then you do like Fleet Lieutenant and then you try to just get in a little bit of damage. You're not trying to like set up, follow the way Clan and Rescuer into like axe woves and try to buff up your units or go wide and do all this stuff. It's just not really viable with force throws and Tarkin Towns and various Power of the Dark Side / removal options, and of course the units themselves. When you're playing these weaker units to go wide, you better have a game plan to actually close out the game quickly. And unfortunately, this game, or this deck rather, is a little bit more longer range because your leader deploys later and you try to play this more value oriented role where you do have to get in attacks in order for Bo to do anything, and that ends up being a little bit weaker. So fun, really cool stuff. Axe is a good addition. He did get insane a couple of those games. Getting a Mando armor or a DARKSABER on either him or another unit to pump him up is incredible. Outside of that, no new units. So we tried our best and we got some dubs, and that's all I'm here for. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you all for the next one.